Greetings, friends! Welcome back to the Messed Up Movies Podcast, the podcast that celebrates movies and filmmakers that embrace the insane, the outrageous, the unhinged, the off-kilter, and the all-around kind of messed up fun you can't take your eyes off of. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Griffey, joined as always by friend, co-host Sam. Heath, welcome back to the show. It's been an insane week here at Misfit Parade. We are excited to be back in the podcast studio. We are trying out some new equipment, so bear with us. We just came off a 2-week epic shoot for Mr. Cream Jean's hidey hole that has us all
holy cow,
worn down, beat down, but we survived. So thank you to the cast and crew. Guys, real fast, go find Mr. Cream Jean's hidey hole on Indiegogo. Support. We're on demand, so you can still support this movie. Help us out. You have to type it in because we've been shadow banned. Please go to Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon, the best way to support this show, get extra stuff, make your voice heard. Subscribe to Misfit Parade on YouTube. All right, guys, that's enough business. We're businessed out, man. We've been working hard. We're here today for another new Movie Monday. Today we are talking about a film called Together, directed by Michael Shanks, starring Dave Franco and Allison Brie. We took my kids, we took my wife. My kids have never had a relationship. They don't even like the idea of kissing, period. So they were very out as soon as the kissing started. We left the theater and we're a little divided. My wife loved it. I feel like I liked it more than you guys. So let's just start with opening thoughts. Let's go, Heath. What were your opening thoughts on Together?
Opening thoughts? Okay, if I had to put it in like a capsule of my review, I just thought it was really thin and shallow. And that these characters, I don't know, they said they were 35.
Yeah.
And maybe 25 I could have bought. But, like, did they have anything really going on in their lives at all? It didn't seem like they'd been together for longer than a couple months.
So that's the bizarre part, is that Dave Franco and Allison Brie are married in real life and have no fucking chemistry together.
Yeah.
Which is insane in the film.
See, I think that works for the film, though, because the whole point of the film is it's two people that have grown apart. So you didn't get to, like most movies show the start of the relationship. This is kind of the midway or the end, even.
Yeah, I think it's officially the end of the relationship, right? So what did you think, Sam, as you were kind of watching this?
Well, first off, it's not a movie for kids.
Yeah, I took 2 kids. That was weird.
I think that was a bad choice. When they
All
were
right,
leaving,
we're not here to dissect my parenting. We're here to dissect a film.
Yeah, that was a bad choice. When we were leaving, though, I remember Logan came up to me. That's Griffey's youngest son.
He's about to be in 2nd grade, so he's a mature man.
He just like tugged on my shirt. He's like, "That was really weird, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, that was super weird."
What did you think of the film, though? Besides my children's reviews, what did you think?
I thought it was decent.
Solid. That's the kind of hard-hitting reviews that people come to the show
like,
for.
I don't think it was. I don't think I learned anything from it.
The characterizations, I mean, if you're going to do a movie like this where it's about 2 people and their failing relationship, you have to do some work and tell us about the relationship. I got nothing from these characters, what their background was. I mean, you get just like the smallest morsels of information. He was a failed musician. She's a school teacher. That's the extent of their 10-year
I think they wanted to keep it simple. That way, the story was the important part. I felt like...
What story?
It gave me enough. See, what you just said gave me enough. That's all I want in a movie. Like, they just give you the surface level.
But you knew going in, they are going to... You saw it in the trailer. They are magnetized. That's the conflict, is that they have to make sure that they don't get absorbed into each other. Like, we already know that from the very opening prologue with the dogs. So it's like, if that's the only amount of tension that you're going to give me, and you're not even really going to explore this relationship, all the resentments, all of the like held up feelings that they've accumulated over 10 years time, none of that comes out. Like, there was so much ripe opportunity in this movie that they just totally left on the table. They didn't even attempt to explore it. And it's like, you're doing the genre elements, but those are already set up. Like, we already know what that is. And if that's all you're really going to do and attempt on this, then I think it's a total missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to kind of sum up what I was thinking as the movie was going on, right? It's kind of stuck between 2 movies. Right? Like, this essentially becomes the poor man's Substance, the very, very poor man's Substance. And so on the one hand, it is this kind of relationship comedy almost, right? Where it's, they're trying to, as chaos ensues, right? There are these nice little moments of levity. And I thought Franco and Brie sold those really well, right? These kind of moments of we had a big fight, right? Kind of more metaphorical big fights, right? And them just having those like calm after the storm moments. I thought they did pretty well with that. Then there's this clear religious cult subtext, right? That they wanted to add to the movie. That's personified. Spoilers on everything, just so you guys are aware. That's personified by this relationship with the school teacher, right?
Yeah.
And so on one hand, it wants to be this kind of graphic body horror film. On the other hand, it's kind of this end of a relationship, 500 Days of Summer kind of like rom-com thing. I think the problem is it's so thin across everything to try to squeeze it in. So I'm with you, Heath. I would have liked to have seen more, because I think personally I like this movie a little more than you guys, because this felt very true to something I went through, right? When we came back from LA, I was 30. I was chasing the LA dream. I had to be in LA because that's where movies happen, right? That's where I always wanted to be. Within like 2 years, I'm married, kid, another kid on the way. I'm not doing any cool shit. I lost my career.
Stop right there. They're in their mid-30s. They've been together for 10 years. There was no mention about, do we want to have kids? Yeah. Where's this going?
Well, I'll put it this way. Just having a wife is enough sometimes. You don't need the stress of kids.
I think that was all intentional. So I think what you're seeing as like a flaw in writing, I think was actually to put across the point that they are not complete people. They're not a complete character by themselves. Only together.
But why?
Because that's the whole theme of the movie.
Sam just froze like a mic
But
drop
you never saw. I never saw any evidence of how the combined strength to form the relationship made them better people or stronger.
They literally talked about it. He cooks, she does the other thing.
Well, okay, time out. The cooking.
I mean, how superficial is that?
When you're an unemployed
but
bum.
that's what matters in life.
When you're an unemployed bum, that's the least.
I feel like food is pretty fucking important.
Having the basic nutrition.
Yeah, I feel like once you get past the Hollywood like love story bullshit, the actual important stuff that matters is someone needs to cook, someone needs to make money, someone needs to do all this shit, and I feel like together they were.
We don't want any Hollywood bullshit like emotions and feelings. We want to know what the menu is.
Well, it's all the shit that see. That's what I liked about this movie is it took away all the bullshit that you see in the other movies where it's all about the lovey-dovey, like blah blah blah, and it got kind of real. It's like someone has to get a job, someone has to cook.
But
I feel
barely
like you
real.
want to get together. You would love this movie.
Maybe I already am. And actually, I was gonna point.
You're the sum of two people. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, how would you even know? But to your point, like I feel like they were already because you're saying the whole point of the movie is they don't want to be stuck together. I think the whole point of the movie is they were already stuck together from the very beginning.
Well, they're trying to explore codependency, but they do it without actually exploring a relationship. Like this should be a relationship movie. Like this should be Antichrist.
Antichrist is such a better version of this.
At the very least, it should be the breakup. It doesn't even go to the depths of the fucking breakup movie with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston.
So I think this is going to be the biggest sticking point in the movie. The thing that doesn't work the most is that Dave Franco fucking sucks. He's not bringing equal stuff to the table.
Yeah.
Because I think the fact that he's a failed musician who's not on the label, who went through, they do this thing where they kind of foist in this, he had a really traumatic loss of his father, whatever, right?
He's just a doof.
He's a doof. And this is the thing. I guess he's attractive and
cute,
hot people can skate through life. Yeah, he's cute.
He's cute, yeah.
Here's the problem. If he actually was on that tour already, right? And this move coincided with the tour and he had to really choose between a career and her, that makes it equal footing. Because then you have two people that are debating, do they or do they not want to be stuck together? Her, she's a teacher, she has a job, I'm assuming, paid for this house on her own, right? He has no fucking money.
Yeah, all this is bullshit, dude. Looking at the actual economics of this story.
What I'm saying is that Franco's not bringing anything to the table. His best asset is that he's hot. He's not even fucking her in the whole movie. That's the one of the subplots.
Yeah, but he must have done it so well that she stuck around, is the point, right?
He was just smashing ass so good that she's like on a year drought. And she's
back when he was a rock star, yeah.
Rock star. What I'm saying is he needed to have something on the table. He has nothing. He is the barnacle of this relationship. And if she leaves him, she's way better off in his whole life.
I'm going to fight back on you on that one, though, because he ended up being a good guy.
Hold on.
How?
But the point is, like, we don't even get to understand why he doesn't want to fuck her. Is it just because
He's fucked up.
Because his mom was sleeping by the corpse of his dead dad.
He's a fucked up
He's
dude.
emotionally fucked up by physical intimacy.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have like reared its head, I don't know, 7 years prior?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. He lost his dream to be a rock star, and then reality of his shitty life like clicked in his head, I feel like. Because up until then,
I just feel like it's a lot for us to fill in the gaps.
Yes.
Yeah, that
and
is true. I am filling in a lot
when
of
I'm
gaps.
at my lowest, the one thing I always make sure is on lock is fucking slinging dick.
Yeah, but everybody's different.
Like, that's the only thing that matters in life is that you're still slinging.
Everybody's different, though. I feel like there's this whole cultural norm that dudes just want to bang, and it's just simply not true.
I was fine with...
Are you coming out as asexual on the pod?
I have been called asexual before.
to that point, Sam, I was fine with how they depicted the on again, off again levels of intimacy.
Right.
I mean, I think
that's
that
a
was
normal
believable.
thing, I feel
yeah,
like.
that was believable. But it's not necessarily about are they fucking or are they not. It's more about like what's their connection to each other emotionally. Like how do they see this relationship?
So
I feel like none of that was explored.
They think they're doing that bit for us when they went on the hike. The kind of inciting incident. They go on a hike in the woods. They go off the beaten path. And they have that like night in the cave together where they talk about shows they watch together. And I think they thought that moment was enough to kind of paint this broad emotional picture of where they are.
Yeah,
I don't really think it got me there.
I just could not ever access either character's headspace.
Yeah.
About how they felt in the moment, how they were thinking through the relationship, this situation. Mm-hmm. Am I, and how that metaphor, because it's supposed to be a metaphor movie for codependency. Mm-hmm. Like, I never felt like we got into any of that about the emotional side of it. It was all very surface.
I actually think it's the opposite.
She's not getting anything out of this relationship. She's not getting financial support. To Sam's point, she's maybe getting caloric support. That's like the most she's getting. He doesn't seem fun to hang out with. He never wants to be around her.
Well, but to Heath's
no
point,
physical intimacy.
they never explore any of that, so we never get to see what he actually does.
But we see that he's always with her, and she's like, come to bed, right?
I know.
And he's just like, I got to learn songs for this shitty
Well,
club
and
I'm
also
doing.
you never see how nagging she is to him in any of the stuff.
Wow.
So, like,
In
in any real relationship, you're going to have the give and take.
Well, that's what I'm
but that's
saying.
what I'm
We
saying.
didn't
He's all
see.
take.
We didn't see any.
Yeah,
all we saw was the
he's
take.
literally all take.
And then he has
bringing nothing.
But then
to
he has the
table.
moment at the end where he's going to sacrifice himself. Spoiler.
Okay, we'll get to that because I don't think that's a sacrifice. I think that's a homicide. I think he's destroying her and taking what's good with her and filling in the gaps in him.
What are you talking about? He was going to kill himself to save her.
He probably should have.
But
Okay, should we walk through the plot a little bit
Yeah,
more?
let's go through.
feel like we're just-
I also have
Hot take.
I have a conspiracy theory, but we can come up on it later.
Okay.
It could have been with where I was sitting in the theater.
Does this have to do with COVID?
Nothing to do with COVID.
Okay, hell
Does
yeah. Rip.
this have to do with
I believe
Epstein?
in COVID.
Yeah, is this a list? Is this an Epstein's Island?
No, it's about the movie.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And certain actors in the movie, and maybe certain actors in all of Hollywood.
Oh, okay. This feels like we're going to have a list by the end of
Yes.
this. Every good conspiracy ends in a list.
All right. So, anyways,
Is Tom Hanks a part of this conspiracy?
I'm not sure. I need to go back and look at his movies to be able to tell 100%.
Let's continue.
All right.
Griffey, take us away.
No, you've got the conspiracy. Go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't want to bring it up this early, but I feel like actors are asymmetrical. Did you guys notice?
Hold on. Can you rephrase that? I need to understand what you just said.
Asymmetrical?
So wait, first off, asymmetrical is when two things aren't the same, right?
Incongruence.
Yes.
Symmetry is when they're the same.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know.
sides are the
Did
same.
you guys notice in almost every close-up shot of the movie, their heads were like half of their face was doing this, and half of their face was going like that. And even like when Franco was standing, they got that weird close-up on his back, and even his back. Like one shoulder was down and one shoulder was
Okay.
pointing up. And I was
So-
like, are they doing this
like
on
a spina
purpose?
bifida thing?
Well, I'm like, are they doing this on purpose?
I hadn't noticed that, but I would love to go back and see if that's true. And if that's what they were focused on, I'm even more pissed off at this point.
Oh!
If that's if you are like, oh, we have to make sure that we've coded in this like
they're two
subtext
different
of
people.
of like this like bullshit artistic like illustration of how they are like incongruent or asymmetrical, as you say.
Yeah. But the movie was kind of
And
boring.
not even explore that inside of the relationship and the characters, then they're focused on the wrong shit.
I was just like, why are they always looking like their faces are shifted, and then their backs are shifted when they're just standing
Now
there.
I'm just picturing Tom Hanks movies as you're saying.
Well, but then that made me start thinking, and I was like, man, because I just read an article about Ryan Gosling, and like someone took his face and they made a symmetrical version of this side of the face and this side of the face, and it looked totally different.
Right, yeah.
So he's got an asymmetrical face.
Most people do.
And then Tom Cruise has it, and I was like, "Oh, do all great actors are they just asymmetrical? Is that what it is? Is that why I never made it?"
I do think it might be an indictment on the film that this is the thought experiment.
Well, that's what I was saying. The movie was kind of boring, so I started thinking about that.
So I'll say this: maybe the reason I liked it more is because I was bringing in that exact journey to the movie. Right? You went through this when you came back from Boston, right?
Yeah.
There is that moment of like, am I giving up everything for a relationship, right? Or a wife, or kids, or whatever.
So I
thought that was brutal when I first got back to Indiana, that sense of loss.
Yeah.
And I struggled really hard with that. So there was a phase
The
of
audience would have thought you were a douchebag for that.
And they were right.
Well,
they were right.
there are a lot of parallels, and I think that's why I'm disappointed. It's because I was hoping that this movie might have something that I could relate to. I mean, the situation is very similar. It's like, I'm in the arts, and she's more practical, and we've been together for 10 years. We're not married. Like, none of the things that I've experienced, and I get what you're saying, Sam. Everybody's different.
And asymmetrical.
And asymmetrical. But there are things that come up throughout the course of a 10-year relationship that are huge, like shockwaves that happen, and they keep coming up.
Yeah.
Throughout every time
it's like
there's
a scar that like always is reopened.
When
every
there's
time
a big
thing
fight,
happens.
these things all get drudged back up. And then when you are in your most like harrowing moment, there's just nothing. There's nothing that comes to the surface after 10 years.
Yeah.
Like this is just it's just such a blatant genre.
They just
play to
shifted
me.
to jokes at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was like this should have been about 25-year-olds, not 35-year-olds.
Right.
See, I do think that's because honestly, I thought the 30-year-old, because that's where like the weirdness started popping in for me, and I was vibing it, right?
And by the way, these two actors are way closer to 40.
Yeah, they're old, right? But again, I watched it and it made me feel like I was in a similar space, right? The difference being is like the two lines I really locked in on that I think they were trying to make Franco recognizable. And perhaps to your point, maybe I like saw things I didn't like about myself during that transition. I was like, oh, fuck this
Well, because
guy.
he wasn't a bad guy necessarily.
He's a child. That's the
He's
thing.
a big child, yeah.
He's a child, and a lot of women who watch this
But
movie,
a
my
lot of
wife
us are,
loved it.
yeah.
I don't know what that fucking says about me. She's probably like, I am with
Well,
one of
she
these
married
children.
you. Well, dude, I didn't want to say it, but he reminded me a little bit of you.
What? What? I'm so symmetrical.
But I didn't think he was a bad guy. Like I just thought he was a little
he's
childish.
not a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's selfish and childish. That is not the movie we're supposed to be watching. Because the nature of codependency is, what is she getting from him this whole movie?
Right.
Which is very little, right? And the two lines were at the start, he's freaking out about the move. He doesn't want to go. He's still making EPs, and the kids, like her younger brother is in a band, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, you should get back on the label. They do this and that. And he goes, yeah, man. He's like, when you got with my sister, I thought you'd make her cooler. She just made you lamer. And he's like, my thought is, I don't want to be on my deathbed and reliving someone else's life. And I was like, okay, that's exactly right. That felt very true and honest. Franco didn't go through that. He's like sleuthing, and he's trying to learn songs, but he's not feeling it, right? And then at the end, or in the middle, right, before he comes to the school, she's on a Zoom with her friend. And it's like, well, I don't want to make him boring, this and that. And she goes, he's a 35-year-old white guy who wants to be a rock star still. He's the boring one, not you. And that felt true also, but I wanted Franco to play that. I don't want people telling me that Franco is this. I want to see him fucking grapple with that.
Like he was almost too nice of a guy.
No, he wasn't. That's the thing. It's like he's too childish to even admit what he wants in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And so the scene of the movie is when he goes, she drops him off at the fucking train station with his gear. And she's like, I want you to be free. Go have things. And he's like, no. Okay, cool. I'll go. And you're like, yes, that's the dickhead he is. That's exactly who he wants to be. And the movie undercuts it because he's compelled by this worm to come back.
That's
That's
the codependency.
And it's not a choice.
No, it's trying to draw that parallel, but it slips. It's doing it through the mechanism of this spell, or this supernatural aspect of it, where he is compelled and drawn back to her. But it doesn't parallel with anything emotionally that's happening with the character.
Because him being compelled back to her makes sense, because he's the one who is stealing everything in the relationship. He needs her more than she needs him. Granted, right? So visually, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. You're taking a choice away from him. He needs to be confronted with, do I keep chasing my dream at the risk of losing this girl? And the genre element kind of takes the piss out of that.
Exactly.
It doesn't give him a choice. Yeah.
He's forced back, right?
Yeah, he's forced.
Because he needs to go back, because he realizes he's a bum. He has no money. He has nothing. He's done, right? So him going back to her makes perfect sense. But you're taking the character who most dramatically needs to be... He's the one in chaos. She's just like, maybe he'll change. He's not changing.
Which is boring. How many times have we fucking seen that dynamic?
I mean, to be fair, that's probably almost all relationships, right? Is that you're hoping that someone will change to be what you want them to be.
I know, but
they never do.
But she's the steady, mature hand, and he's the one who's a man-child.
Yeah.
Sexism.
I mean, it's just so...
Sexism?
It's just so obvious and rote and boring. I don't know. It's just, I feel like we've seen that a million times.
I wanted him to be more actively battling with it.
Yeah.
Because he never gives it a good shot of like trying to be the country.
Well, I think that's why he wasn't successful, probably. He just doesn't try at anything.
Well, I think he's one of those... Yeah, they play him as this guy that like, it
He's
all
nonchalant,
came easy.
yeah.
He was super cool. Guitar, handsome, whatever.
He doesn't have any skills, obviously, from the cave incident. Like, he doesn't have any normal skills.
Yeah. He did climb a rope.
He
That's
can't use a sawzall for some reason.
Yeah, he's never used a tool, right? So, like, yeah, what is
He's
this guy
kind of
bringing?
a useless dude.
He's a useless man,
But
child,
she
baby.
loves him, and I think that's kind of the point of the codependency thing, is you don't get to choose. Like, that's the whole thing with codependencies.
Right, but what I think he's saying, and what I think the interesting footing this could have had, is it's clear he cannot change and become better into what she wants. How does he react to that? And instead, he's just Googling hikers that got lost and scary mysteries.
Using all the data.
He's not grappling with his own shit. He's grappling with this monster.
And we don't ever really know what she wants, except for just a hint that maybe he shouldn't pursue this failed career as a musician.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's
She
so
wants- well,
superficial.
she
The
wants
whole movie,
intimacy.
She wants him to be present.
Yeah.
She wants him to want to lay down with her. Okay, you can't bang because your mom slept by your dead dad and there's a smell, whatever, right? Sensory stuff. Cool. She wants you to be present. She wants you to come watch a show with her again, right? They talk about in the cave how they watched all these shows. They never do anything together in this. The teacher comes over and wants to spend time with her, and he's just kind of combative about like, not cool, right? So that's all she wants this whole movie, is for him to be close to her. He doesn't want to be, and the monster metaphor is destroying that distance he's trying to make. I think on some level, like on a higher level, I can say, yeah, that all kind of works and runs parallel. It is emotionally devoid. And to me, it's not about how their flesh is combining. It should be how their fucking desires are clashing into each other. And that's the thing the movie's
Well, it's a
light on.
physical attraction. I think the movie is trying to state that it's a physical attraction, even though mentally they're not together.
After 10 years, though, I mean, Allison Brie is hot. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Dave Franco's hot. So I guess that's part of it. But where this
See,
movie...
that's the problem, though. Hot people can trade in and out
Right.
as they want.
Right.
Yeah.
They could be running any small town they go to. They
Yeah.
could just
So I
be
feel like you
running
do
through.
need the mental connection. It can't just all be physical.
But that's not there.
I think this movie fucked up right in the opening scene, because what we should have had was an intimate moment between these two to ground ourselves in the relationship and the dynamic between the two of these individuals. Instead, what we have is a party where they're already disconnected, and she does this half-assed lame proposal thing.
With no ring, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm
No ring.
kind of with Franco on that one.
Yeah, what the hell?
And he backtracks, and he's embarrassed, and we have all these characters that are kind of like pressuring him, like, oh, I thought you were going to like not be as lame or whatever when you got together with my sister. Will you go on the road with us? It's like doing a lot of expository work. And so that is, to me, a signal that we just have to like get this thing set up so that we can get to the genre elements. Like,
Yeah.
that's what they're interested in. They're not interested in the relationship. And I know this is the Messed Up Movies podcast where we love all this crazy, outrageous genre stuff. But that is the focus on this. And this is actually an instance where it should be more of an Ingmar Bergman movie. Yeah. It should be much more about the relationship, because that is the core of the whole theme.
Well, The Substance did this exact movie, right? And it was how these two halves of this woman despised the other one and Demi Moore wanted to be that younger woman, but realized she couldn't and what it was taking from her, right? The younger version despised her. So even amidst all this crazy stuff, there's this really strong emotional groundwork that talks about aging and the loss of value in other people's eyes. This movie needed all of that.
That one did it brilliantly. I mean, you set up with the star on the Walk of Fame, and that tells you metaphorically everything that you need to know about the headspace and the emotion of this character and where they feel like their primary conflict is.
Yeah.
And this one just sort of breezes through it all in a very superficial way. We're seeing it from the outside, not inside the relationship. We're seeing it from the perspective of all these partygoers. And you never get to be inside of this relationship with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The flaw with that one, I thought, was I just think Demi Moore's too hot. It's like, why would she need to change?
But she's not hot enough in the eyes of the studio. She's an aging woman whose bodies we don't.
So then that makes me think she's insane. So then I have no empathy for her.
Oh my!
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. You've never been peak hot. You don't know what it's like when we start losing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If anyone's even slightly hot, I'm like, what do you have to fucking complain about?
So just
chill the fuck out.
People.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be fine for you.
And again, the prologue of this movie was not about how do relationships function, how does codependency function. What they opened with was these two dogs basically conjoining.
Yeah,
because they drank from this.
Because they drank from this thing.
So it doesn't actually matter if they had a relationship beforehand. It's just if you happen to drink it with this person, you're going to be stuck with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me,
so
it could have been two strangers. Like the focus.
That would be a crazy movie if it was two strangers.
Two strangers would be great.
The focus is the mechanics of how does this science fiction shit work.
Yeah.
Not we are going to explore codependency.
But I felt like we got no explanation on how that worked either. I felt like we got no explanation on anything.
So I think that, because we were talking about that a little bit, that reminded me a little of Bring Her Back. Right, where they have this VHS tape of a ritual, but they don't dive into it, and that mystery actually allows it to expand.
But at least you know it's demons. And this one, you have no clue. Is it aliens? Is it a virus?
Let me ask you this: if you knew what it was, would it change how you felt about this movie at all?
Good point. I don't know.
It's just very Lovecraftian, right?
I just wanted to know.
It's a mystery religious pool. You drink out of it, right? You're drawn by these bells. Some kind of seeker thing, and then you're caught, right? Or you're two dogs that somehow get in this underground cave and get out because some guy takes you to work as a construction worker, whatever the fuck that is. But again, I don't think any of that matters, right? The science fiction stuff, I don't think that's where the movie needed help, right? Because you just need that mechanism. And I think a lot of these movies get in big trouble when they're so trying to over-explain where did this come from? Why is this happening? The scariest shit is when we don't know why something's happening. It is just this random act of nature, right? And so I thought that part of the film was fine. And the scenes of them being compelled together and their bodies morphing, I thought were super effective, right? Like him waking up with her ponytail halfway down his throat was fucking great, cool. Right? Them being pulled down the hallway, that was fucking great, man. Those scenes were awesome. There is a weird thing in the movie that kind of bothered me that just kind of dropped out was his awesome dreams. Because they start off right after the party. He has this weird dream where they're in like this fucking Willy Wonka bed where there's like two other women looking at him.
No, that was his mom and dad.
Oh, was that his mom and dad? Okay, his mom was pretty hot too then. Yeah, she had that Florida
she wasn't
spring
bad
break
looking.
curly hair. Yeah, that like died to death. Fucking
but it was she needed the makeup running. That's what kind of made her look hot.
Or to look old as shit. She looked very hot. I was like, Franco's having force.
Maybe I'm wrong then, but I assumed it was his parents.
Yeah, that makes more sense now in the movie. But he had these like cool dreams and nightmares, right? And I thought for the guy who's chasing the dream, that was a cool metaphor that just kind of completely falls out of the film.
Like he can't get out of his own past to chase his dream.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, right? And it emphasized this why he's so afraid of physical touch. Like the scene when they come back from the cave the first time, right? And he's like trying to give her a massage. And I thought some of that was shot so beautifully. Just the way he's almost like disgusted is the way her flesh moves in his hand. And it's just these really beautiful kind of close-ups. And then he just starts squeezing her. She's like, what the fuck?
Did you guys ever watch Spring Breakers?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Okay, yeah. So Spring Breakers, I love that movie too.
With the actual monstrous Franco, yeah.
Yeah, the other Franco. And but I thought they did a very good job of like, if you get really close up on someone, even if they're super hot, and you just see their flesh, they're not attractive. Because they have that whole opening scene where it's all the girls and they're super hot, but then as they get closer, the skin is like loose, and it gets like flabby and it's shifting. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting take on like.
Oh, no, but again, I thought that scene was cool, like this repulsion of the flesh and stuff. There was a lot of those elements in it I really liked. But it gets into this, again, it's like those scenes end, and it's like, oh, God, now we're just going to sit here until the next scene happens, right? So, like, for example, he runs away from the train station. He's compelled. He shows up like a junkie in the schoolyard. And you're like, hell yeah, whatever's about to happen. They run into the little kid's recess shitter, and he just starts kissing her. They fuck in the stall, and you're like, hell yeah, dude. Like, that, again, was shot very beautifully. Now it's like this euphoric, like, can't get enough of each other, right? This I want to climb inside of you thing that happens during sex. And I was like, this is fucking great. And when they get stuck, awesome. Love that bit, right? My mom always talks about, when I was a kid, we'd see dogs humping each other, and they get stuck together, and you just spray them with hoses, and they'd run around like their genitals are stuck together. And it's like, you just sat there and sprayed them with hoses? Is there this like sexually traumatic moment? Like, what a weird life my mom had.
That is kind of cruel, yeah.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. But so they keep going on that, right? And they pull apart, and it causes blood, and the teacher's there. And you're like, yes, okay, now it's all going to come together. And then it's like they just go back home and act like it's not the weirdest thing ever that their dicks their dick and pussy got stuck together.
I didn't feel much emotional weight to the fact that they reconnected there, because they do set up that they hadn't had sex in a while. And you see her kind of asking for it, and he ignores it. And it's his, I guess, lust or need to reconnect through this magical
felt like a
bullshit.
desperate, like, if I just give her this, like, it'll fix all the problems. So I think thematically they were going for something. It just didn't. There's no foundation for any of it. So it becomes.
There wasn't a foundation. It
becomes another bizarre moment. And then once the teacher sees his foot come down, you're like, okay, so he's in on it.
Yeah.
So it's just one of these, like,
undercut it.
Even the great scenes, there's just like this.
Yeah, I was like,
chunkiness.
Okay, when that happens, when you reconnect like that, then there should be some real emotional weight to it.
She's literally sacrificing her job and jail time, banging her junkie boyfriend in the little kid shitter. Some kid walks in and is just like, I want to poop. And they're just like stuck together.
Super irresponsible.
Yeah, that's a crime. That's a literal crime.
That's
you can get arrested for. And she's just like, you forced me into it. You haven't had sex with me for a year.
I know, she totally
and you threw yourself at me. I was like, wait.
I was like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like there's a lot more to unpack here that we just don't. Because she just goes, I don't want you. And I was like, that's... I think they thought that was like a mic drop moment with the pen.
Right.
And it's like, come on, get into it. Fucking fight.
Well, okay, so here's my theory. They hadn't had sex in such a long time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he lost a step, and that was her realizing it, and then she's like, I actually don't want you.
Then why was she keeping his ding-a-ling stuck in there?
Women are actors, bro.
Wow. Sam's going to get us fucking canceled, dude. Women are asymmetrical actors. No, I'm just kidding.
Just Allison Brie.
She is literally an actor, you're right.
Yeah.
And
she's asymmetrical.
Yeah. Again, I think this stuff has to then be paired with, this is the Demi Moore ripping up the chicken in The Substance. That's the scene this movie never had once. In
what was that in The Substance for you?
So that was, she realizes that what this other girl is taking, right? She's watching the younger her on the screen, talking about her backstory that's really her backstory, and how much it means in this moment, and how, the old her was great. The one I replaced was great. She was kind of a dinosaur. My mom liked her. And it's Demi Moore literally watching this monster she created, getting everything she thought she was going to get from the experiment. She starts fucking mangling all the food, destroying the flesh of a chicken. It's like, that's the emotional
Right, the stakes
eruption.
are there because we know what that character, Elizabeth Sparkle, really wants.
Yeah.
She wants to turn back the clock. Do we ever know exactly what any of these characters want? I mean, on the surface,
Allison Brie wants him to become an ideal wood husband, right? He wants
a wood husband?
nothing. He wants nothing.
What does he want? Yeah.
Like, he wants to be a famous rock star and just needs someone to pay the bills, I'm guessing. But like he has no emotional stake in this
But
story.
to be fair, most people they don't want anything, right?
I don't know. I want shit all
Well,
the
yeah,
time.
but most people don't have movies about them. I mean, like
This is the classic. Everyone's like, they should make The Office in my job. And it's like, no, all your jobs suck and are boring. And
That's
no
a good
one you
point.
work with is funny.
We need actual heroic stories.
Yeah, the stories are supposed to be these bigger representations where we can put our
This
shit
one
in there.
felt just like normal people because I'm like, these are just normal shithead people.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Franco needed something in the movie that would make him more compelling. Because otherwise, getting towards the end, this is just him destroying a good woman. That's all the end of this movie is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right? Because she goes and he finds the hikers right in the cave. And he realizes that the one hiker killed himself with a knife, and so they couldn't finish the transformation. They're like this double-headed monster, right? Really cool scene. He brings the knife back. She went and found out that the other school teacher combined with his partner in a gay marriage, and that they were fully absorbed into one person, right? It's this whole thing they talked about with Plato, is that at one time humans had 2 faces and 8 arms.
Yeah.
Zeus was afraid of us, so he split us in half. That's why we seek the other half all the time, right? And he talked about that when him and his partner combined, there's this closeness and intimacy, right, that you can never experience otherwise. This kind of destruction of 2 selves for one, which feels like classic bad relationship, something your therapist would say to avoid, right? So he comes back and they're like, oh, we'll kill ourselves, this and that, whatever. She had already been cut by the dude's ring and was bleeding out. At the end, I don't feel that this was a sacrifice Franco made to save her. It felt like the shithead douche boyfriend wins.
Yeah, but he could have just let her die and he would have been on his own. But he didn't.
Again, he can't survive on his own because she fucking pays all the bills. She has the house. What's he going to do? He's going to flee back to New York without her and everyone's going to have questions?
I mean, dude, he can get a job. He's only 35.
Why hasn't he yet?
But because he's had this woman, now he doesn't have her, he can get a job.
Right. Also, he knows he's about to be a 3-part Netflix series that she's gone.
Okay, I know you're sort of joking about this, but let's be realistic about it. Would you rather get a job or have a woman inside your head for all eternity? I feel like he made a huge sacrifice.
Woman, easy. I would combine with Amy. If they're like, you could just not do shit.
Dude, you would not like that. You'd be out there jogging.
I think
be so pissed.
Yeah. I'd just be jogging and baking and be like, no!
Yeah.
No, Amy would hate it. I think I'd be fine with it.
I mean, here's a big problem. If the whole theme is codependency and the reason that he's dependent on her is because has a stable job and she pays the rent, and that's it.
That's it.
I mean, that's not interesting. That's not an interesting...
See, that could be, because there's a lot of guys that do that, right? They just kind of eke off of these women.
She's a sugar mama.
Right. That's a common story. And that could have been interesting.
The only time we get a little peek into her awareness of that is through her friend. When she's talking to her friend on the iPad, and she's like, he's a loser. Like, what are you doing?
And he needs you more than you need him.
Yeah. And then all that tension is just dropped. Like, we never go back to that. She never confronts him on that.
Yeah.
Does she?
Well, because he bangs her right after that. And I think that is symbolism.
That's the symbolism?
That's the symbolism.
He just starts throwing dong and she's like...
Well, and the fact that it's not an emotional connection. It's a physical connection that they have through this virus. I feel like that is probably supposed to be part of the story.
But at that point in the relationship, those two things are linked. Like, it's not just physical. It shouldn't be at that point. There's always going to be some sort of underlying emotional...
Yeah, and everyone who's in a long-term relationship, everyone you know would love to go out and just bang random strangers because there's something exciting and interesting about it.
And what does every rich dude do when he gets money? He does that.
Get married in Venice, dude.
And bangs
205.
chicks that are super young. I feel like for a lot of people, it's only physical.
Right, but again, because that's more exciting and
probably
interesting.
The majority of people.
The value of the relationship are those deeper connections, the life-building things that you can't do with someone you just have a one-night stand in a bar with, right? And that part of the movie doesn't exist, so that makes it tougher. That does make it tougher.
I feel like the filmmakers were writing a lot on the fact that we are going to have a real-life couple in this role, and that will kind of make up for all the groundwork we don't have time to lay.
Yeah.
You know, they will just present as a couple with a history, with all this added stuff, and it will just...
You fill it in.
It'll be there. And had I not known that they were married,
Yeah.
I would have
No
never
chemistry.
guessed that they had any chemistry whatsoever.
No chemistry at all. Because even at the end, right, they come back and he's like, I can join with you. They get naked and they start touching each other, right, as their bodies combine. And he plays the Spice Girl album, right, which is the only nice thing he apparently ever did for her in 10 years. And he goes back to that night and he's like, oh, I thought we'd play it at a proposal, blah, blah, blah. And
It'd be our first dance.
But it's one of those moments I'm watching her and I was like, she's so excited for this, it feels like. She's like reliving this, like, oh, he did that one nice thing and now we're going to be combined. I wanted to see raw terror and horror on her face that this guy is consuming her. The shithead, she wanted to leave. She literally finally, the scales fell from her eyes and she's like, I don't want you. I don't fucking need you. And the thought of her waking up and being fucking forced to conjoin with him to become this little Portland barista person felt fucking horrifying.
She finally escaped. Yeah.
Like, I would be fucking terrified to be like, no, God, no.
Right.
And that's tough, man. Like, they don't give her that final moment to even accept the weight of what's happening.
I think she did. Right before she died, she said, you're free now. You can go do your own thing.
Right. She's like absolving this loser and she's like, go. She does the funny, like, make my post, BRB, I'm dying. When you wake up and he's like, hey, I started conjoining us, I'd be like, no, God, it'd be an invasion of the body snatchers moment, right? This is a complete loss and destruction of self. For a guy you know is not worth building a life for, why would you want to fucking build a new body with this guy?
That has to face her parents.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. When her parents show up at the end, they just showed the new, like, little hipster version of them combined. And I was like, they just cut? Like, we don't see the parents' reaction? I don't know if mystically, like, everyone just accepts
Any of
that.
the outcomes of it.
Yeah,
Like,
do they have a new name? Do they have to get new state ID? There's all these questions, right? They don't, obviously, we don't need them going
dude,
to the
and
B&B,
one thing I
but
was thinking is, like, congenital diseases. Which ones take
maybe
over?
they take the best of both.
Maybe they take...
The other thing is, like,
Yeah, me and Amy combined, is she just diabetic?
Is she diabetic or are you no longer diabetic?
A good horror film lets you sit in the horror, right? Like
Yeah.
The Thing. Name any of them. The Substance, another great example. And all of it comes like washing over you about what this movie was about, what the long-lasting consequences are. Mm-hmm. And we're doing this thing where they've combined and now they're a new person. And yeah, she's gotten the short end because she was a fully formed person and now she has to carry all of his crap in one body with her now. And yeah, we just cut. We just cut to that.
She's definitely showing up Monday and will quit her
teaching
teaching job because it's not cool.
we couldn't even get a sense for what the consequences were of that event happening.
Yeah.
So is it a good thing? Is it a horrific thing?
I think we did get answers to that. I think it is a good thing because they make an emphasis of showing.
Then what kind of horror movie is that? Because almost every horror movie is you're sitting in the
I think
aftermath of the horror.
You're not. This is not a good thing. This is
so,
toxic coupling where instead of each being better as themselves, they are destroyed and made a new person.
Well, there are multiple reasons why I think they're actually happy like this. And it's because, A, they didn't move. They're still in the same town.
Well, this also was like a day before her parents showed up. They couldn't have moved.
Well,
they didn't clean up.
They didn't run away.
Yeah.
And then somehow, for some reason, they put the bell out front, which means they're supporting the cult.
Because now they're a new creation, right? So now they're this new monster made by this cult. They become a harbinger like the teacher was.
Right.
So I think it's a total
The teacher seemed
consumption.
happy.
Did he seem happy?
He seemed happy.
He's hiding out in that weird room in the shadow. Yeah, and then she hits him.
Well,
and
that
his
was
face starts
just for theatrics.
Yeah.
So there was a moment where it seemed like he was a bit forlorn about his other.
He had lost the other. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
He
Because
doesn't make any
sense
He
because
says
they-
he's in his head with him
because they are equal, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think there was some sort of acknowledgement that there is this like missing element dynamic to the relationship where they were two separate beings. But it was just for a fleeting moment.
That wasn't
that
enough.
we even got that. That would have been cool if there was a little bit more like sorrow and regret about what had happened.
She should not be dancing with him to Spice Girls. She should be running for that Sawzall again as he's pulling her back. That's what the finale of that movie should be,
Just
is their
take his
arms
arm.
together and she's trying to desperately get away from him.
Cut to black.
Yeah, and just fucking, I can't live
Right.
with this fucking loser. I got to get the fuck out of here.
But I think what they wanted us to feel is that they were equal in some way. And there's
and there's no evidence.
Talk about asymmetry. I mean, they were so far away from equal.
Yeah.
It was so clear that she was the more established person, and if there was a leech character, it was him.
Hey man, just give him 5 more years. You never know.
Yeah, when that
Career
album
might take
hits-
off.
Hey, we've been telling Amy that about Cream Jeans for years,
Yeah.
so I am pulling for Franco. I just don't believe
Eventually, it's
gonna
gonna shift, baby. It's gonna shift.
Yeah, someday, baby. No, again, another complaint I had, just like a small one, is that all of the fucking body stuff felt CG'd.
Yeah.
Like, especially that finale. I was like, we are in such a golden era of body horror. That final monster had to be practical. Of the two of them together, that fucking ripped my guts out.
I thought it looked good though.
It looked like a cartoon. It looked stupid.
Yeah.
You got to mash that fucking flesh together. You put them together and fucking have a monster suit that ties them together. Like, if it... Again, we can't just constantly compare
Or
everything
you know
to
what
the
I say? Get
substance,
real Siamese twins to play them.
Whoa, dude, that's a cool idea. Yeah. Just give him a Dave Franco little mullet wig or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. It's one of those movies I felt like I really wanted to like constantly. And it just kept kind of turning my knobs down a little bit. Yeah. Right? And so... I mean, I'd still give it a 3.5 out of 5, 3 out of 5. I thought it was a fun journey for the most part. It just, there were moments this thing could have really fucking soared.
Total whiff.
And it just kind of kept fucking stubbing its toe.
Cinematography wise, what'd you think, Heath?
Fine.
Good.
I don't know. I mean,
it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got like a nice polish.
And Oregon or wherever they shot it is just a great place to shoot.
Upstate New York, dude.
Was that upstate New York?
That's where it's supposed to be, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's within driving distance of the city.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, again, I didn't despise the movie, but it's one of those, because some movies are just bad and they miss all the time. You're like, there's no chance that me and this movie were ever going to couple, right? So that's fine. This one was like, I was like, God, this could have been like one of my movies of the year. Like, it had all the base stuff I wanted in it.
Did either of you guys watch the movie that they stole this from?
So that's wild. So not only is he being sued for stealing the movie, it's not even a script. That movie exists.
I know.
You could go watch that
What's
movie.
the name of that movie? I wanted to check it out.
I don't know. I can't remember because me and Alex were looking at it on the pod one time.
We should find it and see which movie did it better.
I'll say, if you steal someone's movie and still don't add the fucking plot in, that's crazy. Like,
that's what I'm wondering, if the plot was better.
Now, is that other film a horror film?
It seems like one of those indie kind of rom-com things.
Yeah.
But I think it has the same kind of setup of them being stuck together. Yeah. I have not seen the other one. I can't speak to it. But again, my final thing on this, we've been in this golden age of body horror. We talked about this a lot. The best body horror can't just be the body.
Right.
It has to be attacking this person inside of the flesh, right? That's where this
one has
missed.
Such an obvious setup for a theme of codependency, and it explores it almost not at all.
Yeah. Did you have any other serial killer notes?
Well, since I took the time to write them down, let me go through them. All right.
You're supposed to do that on the pod while it's happening.
So, well, I spilled White Claw all over this.
Ladies,
I went over the asymmetrical. Those are my first 3 notes. They were like 200 yards from their house, ? When they fell into that hole.
Okay.
What? Okay.
I was like,
I feel like Google Maps disagrees. It was a little further than that, but that's fine.
Well, it looked pretty close. And I was like, why didn't you just climb out of there during the rain and go home?
Well, there was that scene where he discovers where those other hiker couples went missing,
and he ran there pretty quickly, right?
Well, he
came back with a rope too.
He had it on Google Maps, and that's where he realized, like, oh shit, our house.
Well, that's the
really
scene.
close.
I was like, so they weren't that far from their house. They just like hiked out a little bit and fell in a hole and just stayed there all
Pretty
night.
much,
That's fucking weird. Second weird thing. Why not just drink the rainwater that's pouring in from the roof since you have a bottle? Why would you drink the shit that's in a fucking pit?
Also,
a weird
pretty
fleshy
stupid.
pit, yeah.
Yeah. Proves it's good. Why not? Oh. They didn't start over. The fact that they stayed there made me think that they liked what happened. And they joined the cult.
What was your title joke you did?
Oh, to get her done.
To get her done.
That's the
to get
the redneck. I forget that comedian's name. Money Bob or whatever. I think that's it. Why not start over someplace new? These are all the same, yeah. Codependency, both people are not great. Oh, so yeah. The fact that they're both kind of just like uninteresting people, I feel like that helped.
And
Dakota
they become one unified, uninteresting person.
So maybe they need to be a little bit more interesting. That way, when they became together, they'd be interesting. But all right, New York. Where the hell do teachers live in New York? That just brought up a whole question in general
about being able to afford a house like that.
Well, I was like, okay, she's a teacher, right? She couldn't live in that apartment. I'm like,
no, you probably make $50,000.
So then I started thinking, are there no teachers in New York? Where do they live? Do they not live in New York? Or do they all have to have rich husbands?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus Christ. What a crazy fucking city.
New York's insane, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good. I'm glad we cleared your system, purged your system. All right, let's start with Heath. What was the most messed up moment to get her?
If I had to pick one to get her done, I'd probably pick the moment where he discovers the creature that has the missing couple. One's dead, and it's just like this beast.
And that felt practical. That was cool.
Yeah, and so he sees the danger of what could happen to them, and still I feel like doesn't do the right thing to avoid that. But
yeah, I feel like he should have never just came out of that cave.
Yeah,
like that's what he should have done. Just tied himself up in the cave and stayed.
But I felt like that was
why not
kind of scary, a little tragic.
Yeah.
And then kind of went nowhere. But I'd say that's my most messed up moment.
Yeah. So the unfinished hikers was definitely a good one. I'm trying to think. If I had to think of a most messed up moment, I'd probably go with the beat where she wakes up and he's just gagging on her ponytail. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really awesome. Like, that happens all the time when you, like, share a bed with someone. Where, like, you just kind of half wake up and your partner looks insane or your positions of sweat. Not like I'm eating fucking ponytails.
Oh, okay. I was going to say,
I'm just saying,
have you swallowed your wife's hair?
Something strange about waking up next to another human that I've never thought was cool. I'm like a huge fan of the 50s I Love Lucy's beds. That we can have our own space to sleep. Because sometimes, you just look over and you're like, I'm just with another person
just
like in my
wake up
area
first.
when I'm all shut down.
Yeah.
She could just do anything and strangle me when I'm in my sleep or kill me with her ponytail. And I have no defense over that. So I thought that moment was very shocking and fun in the theater.
All right, nice. Honestly, I'm a bit of a man-child myself. So when she called him out in front of the whole party for not being able to drive, that hit really hard. I was like, why the fuck? Don't you love him? Why would you make fun of him in front of all your friends?
So the most messed up moment for you happened within the first 5 minutes of the movie?
Sam's like, this is going to be a ride. This is going to be a wild ride.
And then he's like, you're in New York. I'm like, yeah, you don't need to drive in fucking New York. What are you talking about, lady? You're the one taking him out to the woods.
I feel like you and Tara need to have a talk after this.
I've never swallowed her hair, thank God.
Yet.
But no, honestly, yeah. There were so many, like, all the body horror shit was messed up, but I think outside of that was my most... Because, like, the whole movie's painting her as this, like, perfect wife. But then she just
degrades... The way you just said wife with such dripping disdain.
She just degrades. And everybody, including you guys, are like, oh, he's such a douchebag. I'm like, man, she's not that great herself. She degrades him in public.
I did think we were going to get...
There's some kind of weird, like, Sharia law shit you're doing right now that I'm not cool with.
I'm just, like, walking right past it.
Okay.
I did think we were going to get a signature messed up moment where she has the Sawzall, right? Yeah. And they take the piss out of that scene.
They didn't even show it.
Unbelievable. And it's all for, like, a corny punchline, which is exactly how I feel like this whole movie was building up to. Just... this lame punchline about the Spice Girls to become one song.
That was rad. That was a great needle drop.
It was a great needle drop, but it's just kind of like, this is a sketch. When we got to that point, I just felt cheated out of a 2-hour movie. Yeah. It felt like a 2-hour sketch. Out of it.
Yeah. I hope you guys liked it more than we did. I hope you guys liked it more than we did. Please go to the theater and support all horror films. We're huge proponents of that. Please go to Indiegogo and support Mr. Cream Jean's hidey hole so you guys can talk shit on our movie. That's only fair, right? That's what we do here. You guys can go support that. We're getting very close, guys. We're going to need all the funds we can get for finishing and getting this thing out into the world. So help us with that. Help the Messed Up Movies podcast over on Patreon. You can find us there. Lots of awesome stuff. I think we're going to do mini-series on... Alien Earth. And there's another cool show that's coming out that we were talking about doing. So I won't spoil all that, but we got fun stuff coming in that avenue. So please go help support the show over there. Misfit Parade on YouTube. We're on all the socials. We're easy to get a hold of. We'll see you next time.